how do you make a delineation of how much to try to teach to kids who are really pretty young and how much they can handle?
Yeah, that's again, that's a very important question that we've had to answer right away at spring practice. And our theory was in spring practice to throw everything at them. So we taught these guys a lot. Now, I don't know if it was everything, but it was close. And these guys had to work really hard at it because they've got to balance school and the things that we were throwing at them. But I thought for the most part these guys handled it pretty decently. But that's a question going into training camp that I'm going to be working on over the next couple months of how much we need to do in training camp.
And then you pare back depending on how much they grasp?
Yeah, depending on how much they grasp, but also our team now. I have a much better understanding of our team and our skill set at different positions and what things that we're going to be pretty good at and things that we need a lot of work at. So that again is something that we're in the process of looking at over the next couple months.
Why did you throw everything at them? Did you want to see how they reacted or how much they could consume or what?
I didn't want them to hear anything for the first time in training camp. I wanted them to already have heard it, even though maybe they heard it once or twice, that when we get to training camp, they've heard the terms or the scheme or some of the coaching points that we're trying to get across to them. So that's the main reason.
How much are you expecting them to sort of refine all of those things that you taught them throughout the spring, this summer? I mean, how important is this summer?
Well, one thing I did this week, I met with every player on our team. I had a one-on-one meeting with every player on our team, and I told them exactly what their role was on the team. And one of the things that I told them, each individual person, but also when I met with the units before and the team before the blue-white game, was, look, the summertime is a time where it's up to you guys. Because as football coaches, we can't be around you, so you have to make sure that you accomplish these different sets of goals that we have leading into training camp. And so hopefully they'll make big strides during the summertime, but a lot of that's up to them as it relates to football.
Have you whittled down, first, second, third string, those kind of things I think you talked about on the radio maybe last week about 60 guys, 70 guys that are going to be core players,
right,
and everybody else.
Yeah, I got a pretty good idea. Still, our coaches went right out on the road and began recruiting the day after the blue-white game. So what we're going to do there is wait till they all get back, which is in a couple weeks. And then our month of June, besides camp, all the camps that are offered on the campus, we'll meet as a staff. And again, those are that's one of the items that'll be up for debate is our top 55 to 60 players on a team. But I have a pretty good idea who those guys are right now.
How much football work do you plan to do on this trip?
Personally?
Yeah, like film breakdown, recruiting, contacting your coaches.
Yeah,
you're going to be able to do a lot of football.
Yeah, a ton. I'm allowed one phone call during the month of May, so that's one thing I'll be doing. I'm allowed to make one phone call to prospects, so I'll be doing that. I'm going to be reviewing all the different things that went on during the spring practice, getting ready for training camp, our weight program. I'm going to go back and review all my meetings with each player that I had. I'm not going to watch a ton of film. The film set up in the bus and all those things would be kind of difficult. It's kind of a windy ride, but I'm going to try to get a lot of work done.
Was it a football question?
Sure, go ahead.
How do you get along with Coach O'Brien? And
I get along great. I really enjoy his company. We just talked for 3.5 hours from the time we had our coffee at 6:30 this morning till 10 o'clock when we rolled in here. I think we're very similar in a lot of ways, other than the hairstyle. It would be, we're intense, we're passionate. We want to do what's best for Penn State. And he's building and creating a culture and an environment, so we share those type of stories. And we laughed. He was telling me experiences about him being in the NFL, being in college, and I was telling him my experiences of being with Villanova and this past year and BU, because I worked in Boston for 2 years, and obviously he's from that area, so we get along great. It's like we could go out and have a burger together.
did you give him any tips on how the Philadelphia crowd will receive him today?
He already knows it. He coached against the Eagles, so I don't need to tell him anything.
You didn't have a football program like this at the last two places you coached. How important is it for the relationship between the basketball office and the football office to be a good one?
It's critical, look, we need to change the perception of Penn State basketball. I think we would all agree with that. And with Bill's help, we can do that. And we're going to work side by side on that. I mean, I think for me, it's a luxury to have Penn State football because we reap the benefits of what that program means nationally, worldly. So, I mean, for us, it can only help. And I think it already has. I think it already has. The way I travel now, the way I go out and recruit now, I mean, we're doing some amazing things, and I'm getting to see a ton of players. And people are starting to listen, where maybe when I first got here, they weren't listening.
Were there some things holding you back in the past?
Well, again, I'm on 11 months tomorrow, 11 months here. So I can't tell you what's happened in the past. But, you know, I can tell you there have been some no's, but that's what you get in recruiting. You know, there's a lot of no's. There's more no's than yeses. So it's definitely been a challenge. I think it's a challenge anywhere where you go and you take over a job. And, you know, right now we were 12-20. So it's a challenge to recruit. But you got to keep at it and get the right players.
What is it going to take to get maybe a real elite player from this area? You've gotten some really good players from this area. What is it going to take to get one of the elite guys in the Philadelphia area?
Again, I can't talk about recruiting and I can't talk about names, but I feel like
in general, though.
Yeah, in general, we got to win. We got to win. And I think our success this year and years to come is going to be critical. And I think the success of DJ Newbill is going to be big from North Philly. But like I just said, we got to go wherever the best players are, and we got to go where people want to be here. Whether that's Philly, Pittsburgh, Florida, Texas, Cali, Canada, it doesn't matter. So we have to be successful no matter what we do.
Char, Coaches Caravan, you're in Philly. Just talk about this event.
Oh, it's just an amazing event. I was so excited when the email came across my computer, and right away, I think if you ask Michelle, I was probably the first coach that signed up. Like, I really wanted to be a part of it, and especially when I knew that they were coming down to Philadelphia and to Delaware County, where I'm from. I just was, you know, so excited, and also to spend some time with Patrick and OB. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Why is it important to get out and talk to the fans and the alums like this?
You know, our fans and our alums are just so passionate, and you know, we know who we are and we know what Penn State's all about, and I think it's just great to get back out there and connect with them and just to, you know, share some great stories, let them know what we're doing at Penn State, what we're doing at University Park, and I think it's just, it's a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling for all of us to reach out.
What's new in the field hockey world? Tell us about what you have planned here in the next couple of weeks.
Well, I know everybody's going to be jealous out there because we have a real exciting week coming up. We're actually flying to Italy next Tuesday out of Philadelphia, and we're going to play 3 games in Italy and then head to Switzerland and play 2 more games in Germany before coming back. So it'll be great competition for the girls to play. The culture in Italy is going to be a lot different from the culture in Germany, but it's just going to be a really great experience educationally and athletically.
Now you've spent time with Coach Chambers, Coach O'Brien. Tell the fans a little about what those 2 guys are like.
They're the youngsters. I mean, I'm just like amazed that, you know, they just have all this great energy. And ironically, I knew 2 women, 2 very close friends of mine who know both of them. And when they were up for interviewing for the job, both friends called me and like, oh man, you're going to love Pat Chambers. You know, hopefully Penn State will get him. They're going to love him. He's got so much energy and, you know, enthusiasm. And of course he does. And then when O'Brien, OB, my friend at Brown, Carolyn Norris, she called me and she's like, you know, I worked at Brown with the OB. He's amazing. And, you know, I went to both of their press conferences and just so impressed. And, you know, especially for Coach O'Brien to come in and, you know, following such a huge legacy in Joe Paterno. And he knows we all love Joe. And, you know, he said, I'm the right man for this job. And both of them have such great confidence. And that's what we need. We need that strong leadership. And I think they're both going to provide that.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, no problem, Tony. Good seeing you.